Located in Southeast Asia, the Indonesian archipelago is one of the most geologically active regions on Earth when it comes to volcanism and seismic activity. This is due to the country being situated along the famous Pacific Ring of Fire, a zone where tectonic plates meet and create a high risk of earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. With over 130 active volcanoes, Indonesia is a true natural laboratory for geologists and a constant spectacle for those who follow extreme natural phenomena. Among these sleeping, or not so sleeping, giants, Mount Lewotobi Laki-Laki stands out, an imposing volcano with an altitude of approximately 5,180 feet, 1,580 meters. The name Laki-Laki means man in Indonesian, and this volcano is part of a twin volcanic system alongside its taller sister, Mount Lewotobi Erupts, which means woman. Together, they form a unique and culturally symbolic volcanic landscape in the Flores region of eastern Indonesia. On Friday night, at 8:48 p.m. local time, Mount Lewotobi Laki-Laki erupted explosively, sending an ash column over 7.5 miles, 12 kilometers, into the sky. Images captured during the event gained global attention, particularly due to the formation of volcanic lightning illuminating the night sky in a spectacular way. This rare phenomenon occurs when ash particles and gases released during the eruption collide, generating static electricity and powerful discharges. Indonesian authorities had been monitoring the volcano's activity for weeks due to a buildup of gases in its magma chamber. Experts from the local geological agency detected increasing internal pressure, indicating a possible blockage in the volcano's plumbing system, a dangerous situation comparable to shaking a carbonated drink bottle with the cap still on. When the pressure reaches a critical point, the release can be abrupt and violent, as proven by this recent eruption. Despite the intensity of the event, no flight cancellations have been reported so far, unlike in previous incidents, such as in July of this year, when eruptions forced the cancellation of several international routes to Bali. This time, the main concern is for the nearby communities, which have been warned to keep at least a 5-mile, 8-kilometer distance from the crater. The risk of mudslides, known as lahars, is high, especially with the frequent heavy rainfall typical of the region. The scene on the slopes of Mount Lewotobi Laki-Laki is dramatic. Lava rivers flow slowly down its sides, painting the ash column in the sky with a glowing red hue. The combination of incandescent lava and lightning creates a mesmerizing visual spectacle, but one that hides real danger for the local population. Surveillance remains at the highest level while experts work to understand whether this eruption marks the peak of volcanic activity or the beginning of something even more intense. With the eruption ongoing, experts are still trying to interpret the behavior of Mount Lewotobi Laki-Laki. Recent footage shows that the activity isn't coming from a single vent, but from 2 eruptive outlets, making the phenomenon even more complex. This duality suggests a continuous growth of a lava dome inside the main crater, indicating a possible magma accumulation that, when released in paroxysms, or explosive outbursts, results in intense energy discharge. In previous months, warning signs were already present. Frequent tremors were recorded in the region, indicating a significant increase in seismic activity, often a precursor to major eruptions. These quakes act as an underground thermometer, revealing magma movement deep within the Earth. Authorities had predicted a potentially severe eruption based on these signs. However, after a period of unrest, seismic activity mysteriously subsided, creating a false sense of relief until the eruption occurred. This unpredictability is one of the greatest challenges faced by volcanologists. Despite scientific advances, volcanoes continue to surprise. Mount Lewotobi Laki-Laki is no exception. What seemed like a phase of pressure relief turned out to be a prelude to a sudden and violent eruption. What worries scientists most is this back and forth between calm and fury, which complicates swift evacuation and protection decisions for nearby communities. The current situation is being evaluated to determine whether what we've seen so far was the main event or just the beginning of something larger. Just like earthquakes, where we distinguish between foreshocks, the main quake, and aftershocks, volcanic eruptions can also occur in stages. There's a real possibility that new eruptive episodes could happen in the coming days, requiring constant monitoring and reassessment of risk levels. Another concern is the volcano's history. In November of the previous year, Mount Lewotobi Laki-Laki experienced an even more violent eruption. That event, tragically, led to the loss of 10 lives, residents of villages located at the volcano's base. The impact was so severe that those communities were evacuated and have remained abandoned to this day, a decision that now proves to have been necessary. With this new eruption, local residents once again live in fear and uncertainty. Although human losses have been avoided so far, the risk remains high. The exclusion zone established by the government aims to ensure further losses are prevented, but nature, as we see, doesn't always send advance warnings. Mount Lewotobi Laki-Laki remains a living, latent, and unpredictable threat. The visual spectacle provided by Mount Lewotobi Laki-Laki has drawn global attention, especially due to the striking images of lightning flashing through the thick ash cloud. These volcanic lightning strikes are rare and occur when ash particles, electrically charged, collide and produce discharges within the dark cloud. The result is a spectacular electric storm that looks like it came straight out of an apocalyptic movie. However, as beautiful as they are, these phenomena pose real danger for those living or traveling near the risk zone. On the volcano's slopes, lava flow continues to expand, lighting up the night sky with deep orange and red tones. Satellite and drone images reveal rivers of molten rock streaming down the mountainside, creating a hellish and fascinating landscape. This ongoing activity suggests that the volcanic system has not yet reached its peak discharge, and more explosive events may still occur. The main question scientists ask now is whether this phase represents the climax of the eruption, or just an early stage of something more intense. Even though residents have been removed from areas closest to the volcano, many still live near the edge of the danger zone, where ash and volcanic rocks are already falling. These projectiles, hurled long distances during the eruption, can cause significant damage to homes, crops, and infrastructure, not to mention posing serious physical risks to individuals. The eruption's impact is also starting to affect air traffic. Although no flight cancellations have been officially recorded yet, authorities warn that disruptions could occur, particularly on routes between Bali and Australia, which pass near the volcano. In recent memory, such as in July, this type of event halted flights and caused major losses in the tourism sector, as well as delays in the delivery of goods and essential services. For many local residents, the volcano is both a symbol of nature's power and a constant source of concern. They know they live in the shadow of an unpredictable giant that can awaken with even greater intensity at any moment. As days go by, the tension surrounding Mount Lewotobi Laki-Laki keeps growing. The main question among experts now is whether the current eruption is the climax of volcanic activity or just a prelude to even more aggressive events. The lack of precise data and difficulty observing the crater directly, due to thick ash clouds and poor weather conditions, make any forecasts extremely uncertain. At this point, anything is possible, a natural slowdown or a sequence of increasingly destructive eruptions. If you want to follow closely everything that's happening with Mount Lewotobi Laki-Laki and understand how nature shapes our planet with extraordinary force, stay tuned to the channel. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and share this video with those who are also fascinated by impressive natural phenomena. See you in the next video.